Okay, welcome everybody. Today is Tuesday, December 1st, and I'm Ben Fitz, and Diane Walker is here with me, and we're going to have a couple of other special guests who will be joining us shortly for this webinar, who will also be giving us feedback on how to do social media marketing using SendOutCards. And you can see I'm logged into Facebook right now, because Facebook is one of the primary tools for social media marketing. So I want to take a step back real quick before we get started, and I want to share something with you guys. Um, the new volume requirements for SendOutCards distributors. The volume requirements are changing as of January 1st, and you may not be aware of this. But you definitely do need to be aware of this because the volume has gone up from $93 to $124. And you can count up to $31 from your own personal purchases. The rest of it needs to come from customers and from specifically from subscription customers. They can be $9.80 customers, or they can be $39 customers, or they can be $31 customers. And you could even have one customer that buys more than 100 points. But that's how it qualifies. Now, I know for some people it might be confusing and trying to figure out the, you know, because some people might pay $9.80, other people might pay $39, and other people might pay $31. That might be confusing. So an easy way to think about it is we need 400 total points starting January 1st. That's new distributors and managers, marketing distributors and managers are going to need 400 total points worth of purchases. 100 points can come from your own personal subscription, but no more than that. The rest of it has to come from customers. This helps keeps us legal in the eyes of the government and ensures that a certain percentage of our customers are actual customers versus distributors, and a certain amount of our volume is coming from actual customers, not just distributors, okay? So I hope that makes it easy to remember. If we just go back, 400 total points. 100 from yourself and 300 from customers. One customer could buy all 300 on a subscription if you have like a car dealership or something like that. The best way would be 3 customers on 100 point subscriptions. And so for senior managers, I know that we have a lot of senior managers on this call as well. I'm just looking through the list here. Quite a few of you are senior managers, and senior managers also need new volume requirements. The volume is a little bit more. It's $217 in customer volume. And that's basically another 300 points. So 3 more preferred customers would get you there. You could count 100 from your personal subscription and 600 from your customers. So 3 preferred customers would be the, or excuse me, 6 total preferred customers would be the ideal way to do that. And ideally, of course, you want 10. So that way, if a couple don't purchase or their credit card doesn't go through 1 month or something like that, you're covered. Okay? So senior managers, you are going to need to probably pick up a few extra subscribers this holiday season to help cover you. So that's why we're going to be talking about gathering customers tonight rather than distributors. So executives, again, 3 more preferred customers. So now you would need 9 total preferred customers plus your personal 100-point subscription. If you are an executive, this is the new volume requirement. And then if you're Diane, she's on the call, her volume requirement is now $403. That's 1,200 or 12 preferred customers, 1,200 total points purchased from her customers. Again, 980 customers do count towards that. It's just easier if we do the math on the preferred customers. And just if you're curious, Jordan Adler's volume requirement changed a little bit too. It's now, he needs to add another 3 preferred customers. Every time you get a promotion, basically SendOutCards wants you to add another 3 preferred customers. And again, just keeps us legal in the eyes of the government. Guess what? As you're building a large team, it's also going to help boost your residual check for you and all of your team members as well, because the team members that they sponsor now are going to need a little bit more volume. So anyway, that's why I wanted to talk about volume requirements. Real quick before we go on, were there any questions about volume requirements? Sound is gone. Is this personally sponsored volume? This is personally sponsored customers, and it's subscription volume according to the document, according to the compensation plan document. All subscription all subscription volume counts. The dashboard will change in January 1. This is not in effect yet. This is be in effect on January 1st. If you don't have the volume, you get paid for the level that you qualify for. So if you if we go back and let's say you're a senior manager, but you have $200 in volume instead of 217, you get paid as a marketing distributor, and you get paid as a manager. You don't get paid as a senior manager. So what level that you get paid at is based upon the volume that you have in addition to your rank. So you never lose your rank. The only thing that changes is the volume. And marketing distributors, by the way, they have 30 days to accomplish this. Is that right, Diane? 30 days, or is it 90 days? I think it's 30, right? You can correct me. You can unmute yourself if you. I could make these slides available, but this is just very simply found in your SendOutCards site. Hold on. If you go to SendOutCards, it's 30 days.
Mm-hmm. And it's also every point that a customer buys. Before it was only subscription points. So now all your people that are not on subscription count as well.
Are you sure? Because it doesn't say that.
Yeah, I'm sure. I've talked to them about that.
Because I thought it was that way too. This is what confuses me. All volume from customer subscriptions.
No, they count all customers too.
That's great, because that even counts, if they count all customers, that counts pay as you go. That counts if one of your 980 customers goes and buys extra volume or sends some extra gifts. That's really great if it counts all that. So this is where you see the requirements. This is if we go back here, I'm on SendOutCards under company. I went to downloads. From downloads, this link that says compensation plan details, it looks like it's the 7th link on the list, and it's only like page 3. How do I qualify and earn bonus commissions? This is the Q qualification, and this is where the chart is right here. So it says this is the suggested way: 3 preferred customers, 6 preferred customers, 9 preferred customers. That's just the suggested way. Doesn't mean
that chart is confusing that way for people. Like if you were a senior manager and did not have 6 customers, but you had 4 customers, but you had more than the 217 volume, that still counts. Only 31 of the year or so.
I totally agree with you that is very confusing, and I would be confused if I didn't read all the details. But I've done some research into this, as you have. And I think it's really competitive. I think it's really fair what SendOutCards has come up with. So let's talk about some ideas for gathering some customers. I had asked a couple of people to join, and they haven't joined. So I'll show you something that I did. This post I posted on my Facebook page. And Jay had some good feedback on this post, but I did this because we were doing a Small Business Saturday here in the U.S. I know we have people on this webinar from all over the world. Typically in the U.S. we have Thanksgiving, which is the last Thursday in November, And then the following day is something we call Black Friday, and it's a big shopping day. And there's been a lot of backlash against Black Friday. There's been a lot of backlash against the large companies making people work on Thanksgiving Day and actually starting sales on Thanksgiving and stuff like that. So I don't know who, somebody came up with the idea of Small Business Saturday, the next day after Black Friday, to support small businesses. And I heard that something like Black Friday sales were down $1 billion, which is great, especially if that money goes to small businesses, because it employs a lot more people than giving the Waltons and the Walmart people more money. So anyway, I wrote this post to talk about small businesses, and this was a post that I posted to my Facebook page, and it says, I took this holiday comparison chart, which I just found, some other SendOutCards distributor posted, and I downloaded this. You can download this. You just come down here to options and click on download. If you look, I know I don't want to out anybody, but I know some other SendOutCards distributors. I think one of them, and I won't say his name, but I think you made your own chart, and you might have that available to others. I don't want to throw you under the bus if you're not willing to do that. If you know who you are, who I talked to yesterday on the phone twice, let me know if it's okay to share that with others before I say your name. But anyway, yeah. All right. Thanks, Don. All right. So Don created, I just wanted to get Don's approval. Let's go to Don. Thank you, Don. Don Morris, distributor from Beaumont, California. Don created this cool chart here. I'll post this on our team Facebook page. He even made some, if you have graphic skills, you could edit out the bottom. So obviously you don't want to reuse this unless you edit out Don's info on the bottom corner of the card. But this is the way he did it. And so the idea is these posts just allow you to share with people. I have a few friends every year that insist on sending me Tiny Prints or Shutterfly or Walmart or whatever. They insist on sending me these competitors even though I'm in the greeting card business. And, a couple of them commented on this post and are going to try SendOutCards this year as a result of that. So I'm going to pick up a few new customers as a result of posting this. And I put this in our team, on our team page here. If you just scroll down, actually I'll pin it back to the top again because that'll make it easier for you guys. Now it'll be the top post here. So you can click on my post, you can come here and you can download it. And I would copy and paste the text. I would copy and paste like that rather than share. If you share, it'll attach my name and my info to it, and it's better usually if you copy and paste, if that makes sense. But anyway, that's a tip for you, something that you can do. Looking through the list here to see if our guests are on. Our guests are not on, so let me out them. And Lori. So Lori has been doing some interesting stuff. She has been posting some of the images from the SendOutCards gifting to her Facebook. So she just took some of the images from SendOutCards gifting. She has a domain name which redirects to her SendOutCards site. So this is Lori's SendOutCard site. It's called Memory Gifting. So she owns the domain name memorygifting.com. That just points people to her SendOutCard site. But she's already picked up a couple of I think actually last week she said she got 4 customers, 2 new subscription customers and 2 new gift accounts that are expecting to upgrade. So Lori is just taking some of these gifts from her Send Out Cards gifting, downloaded these images and taking the text right from the Send Out Cards site and then putting the text onto her Facebook page. Okay, and so this is one of the ways that she's doing it, and she's got lots of different samples of the different gifts that Send Out Cards has. So in order to do that, you would come in here to your Send Out Cards page and you would click Send Gift. Okay, and then if I click on this basket, all right, let's say I wanted to post this. I would copy and paste this text right here as the description. And then I would come to the photo and you right click on the photo. Okay, now mine says save image as. Yours might say something different based upon what computer you're using, but I can save that image now to my computer, and then I can upload that on Facebook just like I upload anything else. And Lori actually has gone a step above. I still don't see Lori on. I'd love for her to talk about this. Oh, I see Jay on. Jay, I'm going to promote you. Make panelist. Jay, I'll let you speak as well. You are promoted, sir. So what Lori has been doing is she has also been telling people, asking people if she can put these posts on their wall. She's been telling people that she is involved in Small Business Saturday, and I'm trying to find, so this is one of her posts. Dear family and friends, would you allow me to post my Send Out Cards cost comparison chart on your wall today to support my small business on Small Business Saturday? And several of her friends replied back yes. Look at all these people that replied yes to Lori and said that she can post her her business. So this is the text that you would want to borrow from Lori, something like that, to ask people if you can share, because you want to get their permission. If I were to go and share my Send Out Card stuff on, my cousin's Facebook page, my cousin is probably going to get mad at me and think that that's spam. So that's just one of the ideas that you can use that Lori has been doing, and like I said, Lori's done very well. Oh, Lori's on now. Let me promote Lori so she can talk. Hey, Lori, you're muted. Now you're unmuted. Maybe you can share a little bit about what you've been doing.
Okay.
Welcome, by the way.
Thank you. And everybody can hear me?
Yes.
Yes. So I started on Friday staging random selections out of the gift catalog, just choosing what I thought would be appropriate, and I did it for Friday and had the posts going out every 2 hours, and then did it again on Saturday, and I tried to make them as different as possible. In each one of them, and Ben, if you could just click on the card catalog, for example, or that one, you can see that I asked a question and then tried to give an explanation of what the picture is about, and of course then directing them to my retail site. So yeah, if you click on next, in some cases what I did was I actually copied the description from our gift catalog of what the item was, to give them as much information, the reader as much information as possible.
Awesome.
And then one of the things that I'm doing, which it should have been released tonight, is I'm doing the 12 Days of Christmas.
Is this?
So if we go, yep, that's it.
So tell us more about the 12 Days of Christmas and how you're going to incorporate that into your Facebook posts.
So obviously, first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me partridge in a pear tree. So every beautiful bird needs a beautiful residence. I tried to find gifts that somehow or another connected to the 12 days of Christmas. And an example, 8 Maids of Milking, I went and got I pulled the photo and the description of one of the gifts that has cocoa in it. I think it's got cocoa and cookies. So 8 Maids of Milking, we got to do something for I haven't written that post yet because that's 8 days from now or 7 days from now, but somehow or another I'll connect that. Tomorrow night is 2 bluebirds, and the night after is French hens. The French hens was a little bit of a stretch, but we've got a product in the store for chicken soup. So yeah.
You figured out a way to make it work. Awesome.
I figured out a way to make it work, and it's going to be fun.
The other thing I've noticed here is the one, if you look up here, this was posted at 5 hours ago, and this one was posted 1 hour ago. So I think the other thing that's important to share with people is that you are not just sharing this once a day to your Facebook, you're sharing it twice a day. Can you maybe enlighten people as to why you would share it more than once a day?
From what I understand, there's people that will go on to Facebook at different times, and the idea is to capture different audiences. The audience that happens at 3 o'clock in the afternoon is going to be a group of people that is different than the group of people an hour ago. Because, and yes, and thank you for pulling that up. So I'm going based on this infographic that Ben shared with me yesterday, but also had shared it last summer. And this was one of the things of noticing when people are online. I had been made aware from this to look at sharing something at lunchtime, because there's a lot of people at lunchtime that are bored and they'll look at Facebook. So by 3 o'clock, I guess they're really bored and they want something to do. And then there's a different group of people after hours that are really going to pay attention to what you're sharing.
Those are the honest employees.
Yes.
The ones at 3 o'clock, not so honest. They're ready to get out of the office and they're on Facebook clicking around and doing stuff. Yeah, so I'll reshare this actually right now to our Facebook page. I'll share this in a group. We are Eagles. This is what Lori was talking. Hey, we got the pop-up. Lori was talking about tonight on our webinar. Okay, so I'll share this for you guys, so you guys that are on the We Are Eagles Facebook page, you can get that. If you're not on the We Are Eagles, it's for our team members and only our team members. And so thank you very much, Lori. I appreciate that. I'll love to hear how it's going. I think many of you guys may be interested in seeing Lori's 12 Days of Christmas, and I would encourage you to send Lori a friend request. It's Lori Jimenez, Jimenez, and I just tagged Lori in that post actually on We Are Eagles. So send Lori a Facebook request so that you can actually follow her posts. If you have a business page, like a business sincere site, the sincere.net site, then what you'll want to do is you can also share those 12 Days of Christmas or whatever posts you're sharing, you can share it to your business page too. It doesn't just have to go to your personal page. So thank you so much for that, Lori. I did want to go on ahead and turn it over to Jay for a few minutes. I asked Jay if Jay could participate. I know that Jay and I were talking tonight about some other gift ideas for send out cards. Jay also had a critique about my post on where's We Are Eagles. Jay had a critique about my post here and how he might consider rewording it. And I love critiques. I've got so much I can learn about doing business. Jay, are you with us?
Yes, Ben, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great, man. It's great to have you join us tonight. Sorry if there was a little confusion about everything.
No problem. It was practically a Google thing. It led me to a Google Hangout, and then I just got out of it twice, and then refreshed, and then the webinar was in progress, and here we are. So it's just another example. Is we don't stop at stop signs. We go right through them, and we get to our destination.
Well, thanks for going through those hurdles to join us tonight. So let's start with you had some suggestions for how you might improve this post that I posted about the different value from Snapfish and SendOutCards and Shutterfly. You had some suggestions about how you might change the wording.
Yeah, and I certainly don't want to use the word criticize or critique. It might be a little harsh to the
Oh
audience.
no, it's not harsh. Who cares?
No,
This is business.
yeah, and what I found just reading the post is that Snapfish, Shutterfly, Tiny Prints, Walmart, you see this advertising from October to January 1st, and then it's done. Where SendOutCards is a 13-month, infinity type of service and coaching and consulting business, and that's what you get by working with Laurie or Diane or Ben or Jack or myself, so that when you look at that post and you look at the comparisons, Snapfish is not going to coach you on how to send a great card on Valentine's Day. Shutterfly is not going to coach you on sending a great book or calendar on Mother's Day. Tiny Prints is not going to explain how to create great invitations for an upcoming wedding. Walmart's not going to do anything. But inclusive of the less cost, you get the coaching element of Ben, Jack, Diane, Laurie, myself, and I think that is something that needs to be mentioned, because we don't want necessarily people to sign up for SendOutCards for 4 weeks and then just get off the planet.
Yeah.
So the value proposition is that not only is SendOutCards a better product, it's less expensive, it's an ongoing coaching vehicle, not only your upline, but anybody else you want to connect with, either on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Periscope, Meerkat, blah, blah, blah. And I think that's a missing piece in this graphic, that when we're speaking of this graphic, folks, don't be shy to explain to people that there's a plethora, an infinite amount of coaching. I had one client say, Jay, I just watched the campaign video and I'm blown away how easy it is, and I'm going to have my assistant start using the campaign model more and more often in 2016. She's a stager. She's had an incredible year, and she's struggling sending out cards because it's so time consuming. But watching that video, she realized that she can create one card and then keep sending it out to the referrals that she gets and the thank yous that she's giving to the clients, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the value proposition, folks, that SendOutCards has. It's that it's an infinite education training portal to get you to major, massive success, not just sending out cards for 4 weeks in the calendar year of December, November, January, etc.
That's a great point, because we were talking about the volume requirements changing earlier, and what ideally we need subscription customers that are going to stay our customers every month and not just during the holidays. So that's a great point. You were also talking earlier. Let me go back to my main menu and send out cards. You were talking about the SendOutCards photo store. We have distributors on this call that may not even be aware of what the SendOutCards photo store is. So real quick, if I have your permission, Jay, I want to show them how to access the photo store, and then maybe you can share some of your great ideas on getting some additional customers and staying top of mind with people year-round. So I'm on the SendOutCards website here, guys, and if we go to our main menu on SendOutCards, we've got an option over here. The bottom option on the left-hand side says SOC Photo Store. Now, I'm going to give you a tip. Okay, pay attention. This is important. The first time you click on this link, it's going to not work. And now it's going to work for us. How great is that? No, okay, it won't work. Okay, it never works the first time you click it. That's okay. Now you go back and click on SSC Photo Store again, and for some reason, now I'm logged in. Before I wasn't logged in, it didn't work right, and if I tried to log in, it wouldn't work right, but now I'm logged into the Photo Store. So Jay, I'm in the Photo Store right now. Maybe you can share with us, I think that you were telling me about calendars. So I'm going to pull up the calendars, and maybe you can tell us a little bit more about
Sure.
that while that loads.
Sure. This past weekend, I had it in my daytimer to create my calendars, not to rush through it, but to create great pictures that are significant of the month, and dropping in individual pictures between 3 and 5 per month, and then saying a little tagline that was significant to the date, whether it's the Boston Marathon. I went and Googled the upcoming 2016 Masters Tournament. I Googled the Boston Red Sox home opener. I Googled the TPC in Norton, Massachusetts. I Googled the correct Mother's Day, all this easy stuff to do, and then dropped in specific pictures on those dates, i.e., example, Mother's Day would be a picture of my wife Stacy and my daughter Ocean. Father's Day would be a picture of my father who passed away. Masters, of course, take a picture off of Google and create the picture and say Masters Weekends begins. And what it does, folks, is every time someone flips the calendar and sees a significant date aligned to that particular month with a specific picture that you created, they're just going to stop and say, wow, this guy, this woman is talented. That's going to create what we've been talking about for years, top of mind awareness through others, which is every time they, thank you, every time they flip that, they're going to be reminded of Jay McHugh and his real estate practice here at Lear Real Estate, the largest independent real estate company growing here in the United States. And it's going to generate a call, a phone call, a dialogue, a referral, a piece of business, et cetera, et cetera. Now, the cool thing about it is, like, I think a few years ago, they were $15. They've come down in price, $12.99. Easily on Monday morning, not because it was CyberStar, but I just wanted to relax my brain, go through it one more time, make sure there's no mistakes, spelling errors. I ordered up 100 calendars. Cost me $1,300. Plus shipping, less than $1,400. They're being in production right now. They should be at my office on Tuesday of next week. I will take those calendars. I will, in addition, I did apple pies, drop buys for apple pies for Thanksgiving. Maybe I do blueberry pies. And I'm going to easily drop off 40 to 50 of those calendars with the pie, creating a little bit of a dialogue to my top 50 rainmakers. The other 50 I will mail to people, and I'm going to be strategically mailing them to people that I know will be keeping them for shelf life throughout the year, which might mean, sending it to one of my top rainmaker attorneys so that when he's looking at his calendar and he's flipping it over, and even somebody in his office says, hey, Doug, I need a realtor referral. I just found out so-and-so is getting divorced, and we need to list the property. Oh, you're going to call my friend Jay, because I'm creating that top-of-mind awareness through the calendar, and every time he flips over that calendar, I'm just easily being mindful to him that I'm in the real estate business, a friendly guy that gets success for his clients. So I look at it and I say, folks, $1,500 investment, I'll easily turn another $75,000 to $100,000 in added gross commissions in real estate. It's a no-brainer, folks. So for the folks on this call, don't be afraid to tell your customers that they can do the same thing with a $15 investment that's going to generate 10, 100, 1,000 times return in their primary business. The easiest way to get excited about this is that when I did receive a calendar from a realtor 3 weeks ago, it was a generic calendar that's mass marketed with no identification of who sent it to me other than the envelope, which again is opened and thrown out. And then afterwards, there was nothing in the calendar other than it's time for a market analysis. Wanted to wish you a great spring. it might be time for a market analysis. So as I go through each month, I'm saying how weak is this product? So $3 times $3 times $3 times whatever number this person might have sent out is still going to get a very, very weak return. You might as well not do it. And by investing, whether it's 10 calendars, 50 calendars, 100 calendars, or if you have a big customer with a big business that wants to give out holiday gifts, 1,000 calendars, they're not only going to get that benefit in return, you distributors are going to get handsomely paid for teaching people how to create gifts of top-of-mind awareness that are going to benefit both parties. And that's what we're here to do on this webinar, is to share highest and best use of ideas, plus reminding folks of the inventory of gifts that we have in the SOC photo store. That's a great picture right there. You know, the I am default.
Yeah, I just wanted to go to the default rather than create one.
Mm-hmm. Now, folks, what I've done here is that I take that out and I put a picture on the front cover, Ben, a picture of me, and obviously I use a different program called Jing, and I'm able to write words on it, and I'm able to, manufacture a cool picture that, lo and behold, they're knowing that Jay's in the real estate business. This is a very clean picture, wishing a wonderful 2016. And then, of course, the first picture in January is a picture of my wife, my daughter, in the winter months here in New England. And then, of course, as you move in the spring, and of course you move to the summer, Boston, Massachusetts, big fireworks display. You move to October, Halloween, everybody loves Halloween. You end it, obviously, Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's a pretty good wow factor because, I haven't thrown out my calendar in 2012 that I sent to myself when my daughter was first born, and I look at it, I should say she was born in 2000. When she was born, what year are we in?
It's 2015, so she was born in...
Yeah, 12/11/2009. No, 12/11/2009.
Yeah.
But what I did is I created a calendar for 2012 with the pictures of the previous year. So it's a 2012 calendar. We're in 2015, and every time I do a presentation, business presentation for SendOutCards, that is one of the two top gifts that everybody talks about, is because they're just looking at Stacy and Ocean. There's a picture of me with a beard. I'm probably 10, 20 pounds lighter, and they're just amazed that this quality of production can be done. Now, folks, guess what? Costco's doing it now, Walmart's doing it now, Apple's doing it now, BJ's is doing it now. But guess what? In addition, you've got to work under their control. You don't have as much as control as to saving the product and having it years from now, and as well as just the ease of what Ben is doing right now, showing how you can do it while you're here, not at Costco, not at Walmart. You're totally in control with a good support staff, and it's practically the same cost outside the 5% that you earn as a distributor, as well as the amount that you'd be helping someone get coached, where I'm sure the people at Walmart or Costco are not going to be coaching someone to create great calendars. So the value proposition is to work with the distributors like ourselves to help people create great gifts that will be used over the next 28 days to be delivered for them to launch their 2016 year. And who knows? I mean, people can be creative by just putting in different things for different regions. I know that here in Boston we have the Charles River, Regatta for the sailing people, third week in October. Obviously, I mentioned the Boston Marathon, third week in April. Somebody else in the winter, Canadian areas might have a major snow skiing event. So those are the things that separate you creating those calendars and coaching your customers and distributors to create great calendars. That it's a pretty awesome gift that you hand someone for less than $20 that they're going to sit back and say, wow. And again, you can control it by making it all business for yourself in terms of the real estate or the SendOutCard business, or you can make it fun, which is just generic, the town that you're living in, and all the specific dates and pictures, as well as what Ben is doing right now, creating a card or a calendar for young children and making the calendar filled with animals. So look how quick you're making this calendar. I love it.
So I did want to point out something to everybody, and actually, you know what? Let's go back and see what other stuff they have in the photo store. because I know that we were talking about some other gift ideas as well. I do want to point out to everybody that, the photo store works right now. It is really slow right now, okay? So when you first get to the page to edit, it looks like a blank page, and you need to be patient, and you need to sit there for a couple minutes. It's literally going to take a couple minutes, and then everything loads. And like my page, for example, there, I have so many photos loaded into my account. It takes a while. So I just want to warn you of that, because I thought that the photo store wasn't working, and it is working. And I just want everybody to be aware of this. This is one of the other gifts that I really like that someone has shown to me. I actually have several of the photo mugs for myself, but these playing cards, $15 per deck of cards, and we were talking about some ideas for the playing cards earlier as well today. Maybe you can share some ideas with
Sure,
the
sure.
folks.
Our friend Sandy got me hooked on this. We all have the same products. It's a matter of like who pushes you to or who moves the needle is an expression everybody uses. So Sandy moved the needle for me, and 2 years ago I created 15 of these decks of playing cards. And the great thing, as I was explaining to Ben earlier, is that unbelievably so, these deck of cards, which is approximately 54 to 55 cards that you'll receive, they throw in a couple extra jokers, and you have the top card, which is consistent throughout the 52 deck, plus the 2 jokers, and plus I think an extra one just for marketing purposes or for packaging purposes, is that you have an opportunity to put 55 different pictures on a deck of playing cards. And what is so incredible, if you take the time like I do, you can make all 54 different pictures in the cards. You also can make it simple by making a picture of the front of the card and then just doing diamonds, hearts, clubs, and spades. So as an example, I was telling Ben earlier, I said if you were a New England Patriots fan, maybe you put a New England Patriot logo on the top of the card, and of course the spade might be Bill Belichick because he's crafty. The diamond might be Tom Brady because he's worth millions and millions of diamonds. The club might be Gronkowski because he's clubbing everybody out there today. And finally, the heart might be Bob Kraft because he has a heart of gold, going from $100 million to $5 billion in net worth because he charges $21 for a Guinness at his stadium. So he's got a big heart, right? So you can have fun with that when you're telling the story, when you're giving these gifts to your friends who are Patriots fans or the Jets or the Giants, etc. And believe it or not, they're just going to be extremely wowed if they are a card-playing person to say, you took the time to create this, Sandy, Ben, Jay, Diane, Stacy, Billy. And it's like, yeah. And then in addition, as you know, I belong to a beautiful golf club in Western Massachusetts. I've created a deck of cards to give to my club so that they play cards on Friday night, which I do play, and I lose a lot because these guys are sharks. Or you can make a deck of cards for your senior citizen home friends, and you drop them off as gifts. And of course, you could put a little plug for yourself, courtesy of Laurie Jimenez, courtesy of Sandy Jones, courtesy of Stacy McVeigh. And they're just eating it up, saying, wow, your grandson, your granddaughter, your aunt, your uncle dropped these cards off, and we're playing bridge. And guess what? People come in, they look at the cards, they just say, wow, this realtor, this mortgage person, this super business person is so kind to these older women, older men playing bridge every Thursday night down here at the Blake Estates in Hyde Park, Massachusetts, where my grandparents ended up and passed away. It's a pretty cool gift, folks, for $15. What's funny, Ben, when I do a presentation, I bring out the cards of ocean, and I'll say, now for all this that I told you, don't you think a $99 price tag is pretty fair? And most of the people just put their nose up and say, well, I guess so. And I said, what happens if I told you there was an $85 discount today? What do you mean? I said, frankly, they're about $15. But I just wanted to take you from the high to the low.
Yeah.
Because you go to 7-Eleven, you pay $6 for an average deck of cards.
Yeah.
So for $15, folks, I just took you from a high to a low. That makes this gift a ridiculous, redonkulous, great gift to give someone for $15. Again, creating shelf life to people who like to play cards. And guess what? When they're playing cards, they're going to be remembering who gave them the deck of cards. And it's an amazing gift. Thank you, Sandy, for on this call for pushing me, moving the needle, and I love the deck of playing cards.
It's funny. I was actually I mistakenly quoted the wrong price myself the other day because I didn't really know what the right price was, and so why is my thing not showing properly? Anyway, so I didn't know the right price, and I was quoting a price of $25 to people, and they thought that that was great, you know.
Yeah.
So guys, you can see that you can go and you can edit as many of these as you want to. You know, one of the ladies I was sharing it with just wants to put her logo on the back and make regular cards, and there's some themes already created of regular cards if you just want to customize the back. But I think what Jay is doing, you know, I think the thing about Jay is he always steps things up and takes it to the next level. It's like when he sends a card, he doesn't send a plain card, he sends a wow card, you know, and so, you know,
So
this,
working right there, Ben, I love how you're showing this example, and I appreciate your compliments. So think of this, you know, for what's that, a jack over here to the right? Jack is like jack of all trades. Maybe it's your uncle who fixes everything. Who's the queen bee in my house? It might be Stacy. Who's the king in my house? Not me anymore. It's Ocean. So
Ocean's the queen, there we go.
No, I'd say Stacy's the queen.
I'm putting Ocean on the queen. I don't have pictures of Stacy.
That's okay, and Ocean is now the king of the house, right? So the fun part about it, you know, the 7, someone who's always lucky, you put their picture as the 7. So when you give these cards, you're telling a story. Facts tell, stories sell. And again, Ocean is going to be 6 in a couple of weeks. I had my first game of, what do you call that game? Not war, but the game of memory. So she found the deck of cards. She says, "What's this, JJ?" I said, "It was a deck of cards I got for you many years ago." She says, "Who's this person?" "That's your dad." "That's not my dad." "Well, that's my dad." And, "Where is he?" I said, "He's up in heaven right now." "Oh, who's this?" So the whole thing was such an engagement between my daughter. She then flipped the cards and she said, "Let's play memory." And she was pretty good at it. She beat me. And it was just an awesome thing to be able to interact with my daughter with specific pictures and teaching her about the family. And can you imagine, like, giving that deck of cards to, again, my mom and dad had passed away, but George and Mary are around, and their cousins are around. So when they're over here for Thanksgiving, they pull out the cards, and lo and behold, they're having a ball just playing this deck of cards. There you go, pictures of pets, pictures of family members. And I don't know, I mean, there's something called online poker. There's something called the World Series of Poker that gets more viewers than the New England Revolution. So there's a lot of people tuned in, watching the World Series of Poker as well as playing online poker, that if you give them a deck of cards, they're just going to say, "Wow, now that's a gift that you were thinking about." I really appreciate that, Sandy. I really appreciate that, Ned. I really appreciate that, Dennis Doucette. Dennis Doucette's one of the up-and-coming stars in our group, and he's a firefighter. What do you think they do during some downtime? I think they're playing cards, right? So here we are just talking on this webinar. We're coming up with some great gifts, and I'm sure Dennis is on this. He's probably writing this down saying, "I'm going to do a deck of cards for the staff. I'm going to do a deck of cards for the, whatever you call the firehouse captain."
Yeah.
And boy, you know, that's pretty good for Dennis getting his message of SendOutCards to his peers, not just in the real estate business, but in the firefighter business. And it's really the epitome of what a SendOutCards is doing, is giving us many more opportunities besides sending out great cards and traditional gifts, but being creative with the third-party vendorship that we're aligned with to say, go send a couple of mugs once in a while. Just thinking about you. I'd love to have a cup of coffee with you. Talk about how to get in a recruiting appointment. I mean, Stacy is the queen bee, the top recruiting business person in all of America. She gets appointments left and right, interviewing billionaires and millionaires, and then, of course, real estate agents. So when she's finished up with someone, she sends a coffee mug and a $5 gift card from Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts. "Hey, great time. Next time I want to pay for the coffee. But right now, enjoy this cup of coffee and this gift card." You know, all the creative things that people can do by just using their imagination, but exercising the tools that we have here at SendOutCards.
Well, thank you, Jay, for the great ideas. I think these are excellent ideas. I think that the thing about this stuff too is that the things that we're talking about, the calendars and the cards, it's not just the gift that you're giving to somebody, but it's also the fact that those people are many of them are going to be saying, "Hey, how'd you do that? Where'd you get
Right.
that from? You know, who gave you that deck of cards?" You know, that's the kind of thing that's going to lead to more referrals for that business owner that's giving these away as gifts. Because guess what, guys? Not just distributors can do this. Our customers can do this too. Our customers can send cards and gifts like these as well. So, you know, if we're getting our customers to start sending this stuff, imagine your volume increasing when they're sending a $15 deck of cards or $12 calendar or 100 calendars like Jay just sent out. And I know Diane gets the calendars to give away as gifts, and she has, you know, a bunch of calendars sent to the house, and then she wraps them and gives them as gifts to people, and they're SendOutCards calendars. Lots of great ideas. We are close to the top of the hour. I'm just going to check the question and answer board and see if we have any questions. Thank you, Jay, and thank you, Lori. If you're still, yeah, Lori, you're still there. I see you. Thank you both for sharing. Does anybody have questions for Jay or Lori or myself? Can we get pictures from Facebook and put on calendars?
Absolutely.
So
Just take that download. Yeah, take the
oh,
picture off of
she
Facebook.
says she doesn't. Yeah, that's what she says. I'm sorry, I misread. Kim says she takes them from Facebook.
Yep, absolutely.
Any, um,
I'd see one question. Turnaround time, folks. Turnaround time, depending upon the complexity of the project, as well as ground or overnight, can be as little as 5 days and overnight within 2 days. So we have plenty of time. December 1st, is it? If you did a production today, tomorrow, next day, and you did it ground transportation, it would be here by December 14th, December 15th, which gives you 10 days to either do a pop-by, walk-by, or even drop it in the mail. So I highly recommend, and great question, Dennis, highly recommend that you look more into this, contact Ben or myself or Lori, anybody who's been on this conference call, learn more about specifically the calendars and the deck of cards and the mugs that we just talked about, and you know, be smart with it. Have your pictures already set, load them, know where to find them, and you know, I had no problem this weekend. You know why I'm up like a moron? I'm up at 4 o'clock. My Wi-Fi was strong. There was nobody else on SendOutCards, or seemingly nobody else on SendOutCards, so the site just zipped me right through it. So then I just went in the afternoon, I double-checked it, zipped it right through it. Didn't need to make any additions or challenges or anything. And then I took maybe 16 seconds to make the order. Now it's just making sure my credit card was added correctly. And I don't know, I just find this super, super easy. The more you use the system, the more you find that it's super, super easy.
yeah. Few questions for you, Jay. One, what was the name of the program you mentioned for the front of the calendar?
Sure, I use a program called Jing. If you Google Jing, TechSmith, it's an easy program that I'm able to cut, copy, screen share. I shouldn't say screen share, screenshot. You know, some of the screenshot programs can be convoluted and very difficult. So what I do is I just take a nice high-resolution picture.
This is Jing right here, actually, folks.
There you go. See, exactly. So Ben has taken a picture of it. I'm able to write words and get thank you, excellent, Ben, and I'm really able to create something that might be a little bit more than what the SendOutCards tools have for us, because they're limited. They're not an image production graphic design company. So everybody has their strengths and their weaknesses. They can only put so many tools into the SendOutCard system. So the Jing helps me organize my pictures, put my graphics. The J. McHugh Real Estate team wishes you a wonderful 2016, j@jmchugh.com, 617-699-7442. So I added that into the picture, saved the picture, uploaded the picture to SendOutCards, and boom, that's my cover photo, and it looks fantastic. High-resolution picture for one of my newest high vendor photographers. And of course, Ben, you're already on the list. You'll be getting one. And
Thank you.
Lo and behold, I'm pretty satisfied with my vendors. I'm pretty satisfied with my technology, and I love SendOutCards for giving us this tool of being able to create calendars specifically for our audience and to benefit our business, whether it's primarily SendOutCards, combination of SendOutCards and real estate, or for your customers, whatever their business they might be in. It's just a fascinating tool to keep the top of mind giving throughout the year, top of mind awareness through others, so that you can create more business and more revenue in your business throughout the year, as opposed to a one-and-done gift that's muddied with everybody else for the 4 weeks between now and January 2nd.
Hey, Jay, one last question before we wrap up the webinar. Someone asked, what do you do if you have a customer that wants to buy a calendar but resists or signing up? So they want to get a calendar, they want to get a custom calendar, but they don't want to become a SOC customer. What would you say to that distributor?
What I would say to that distributor, it shouldn't be a distributor. If I would say to that prospect and say, great, let me create a calendar for you. And if I do create a calendar for you and I'm able to give you that gift, would you please reconsider the power of SendOutCards so that you can do this on your own in the future, or your team? And lastly, if you continuously don't want to do it, because a lot of people are technology challenged that I see. Again, I'm kind of the exception to the rule. I've met a number of people over the last 3 weeks that when I see them tapping the computer screen, I look at them and I'm like, they're never going to be a good SendOutCard customer because they can't use the keyboard fast enough. But I do say this. I'll use Jack. I say, Jack, listen, I understand you might be computer challenged, and that's fine. Your generation was not around during the computer generation genesis. However, you are paying someone $15, $18 an hour to sit on Facebook between the date of the calendar, the 4th to the 26th. Well, how do you know that, Jay? I said, because I'm in real estate. So on the 26th, she's running around like a crazy bee doing all the closings, and up to the 4th, she's packaging all the packages, getting out to the institutions, the banks, the title work, but you got to keep her around for the next 3 weeks because you can't hire and fire her. Yeah, so what's your point, Jay? I said, she or he can do what you're asking me to do. Oh, you're already paying her $18 an hour, right? Oh, light goes off, folks. There's a lot of people that love SendOutCards that are intimidated by it because they don't want to own up to the fact that they can't use a computer. However, they're paying a secretary, a paralegal, an administrator to sit there without any work. How do I know this? I see it in all my offices that at times in the ebb and flow,
Right.
there are people that are just sitting there twiddling their thumbs. They're listening to Pandora. They're pretending they're doing something.
They're on Facebook at 3 o'clock, when that goes back to what we were sharing earlier. They're on Facebook when they should be working.
Exactly. And they would be excited to do the project that we just talked about. Seriously. They would be excited to do a deck of cards if you said, hey, do a deck of cards for me. Here's the 4 pictures I want: clubs, diamonds, hearts, and spades. Here's the one I want on the front. And before you hit send, let's preview it together. Jay, come on down. What do you mean? I'm done. What do you mean you're done? That should take about 4 hours. No, it only took me 20 minutes. Let's preview it. Oh, holy moly, this is awesome. Let's send one to us just to make sure. It comes to Barry Wood's office, who I'm discussing because he's a little challenged, and I just signed Barry up as a customer, and Barry looks at it and says, wow, it's pretty amazing. Let's send out 100 deck of cards now to our top clients because he does about 1,000 closings a year. So these are the things, folks, that you can get around by teaching people that we do have people in our arsenal that are looking and thirsty for work in fear of being laid off. Give the work to them. Tell them. Tell your customers that believe in the idea, but they're afraid to get invested. So to answer the question, circumventing the question, I would do one for them on behalf of them and give it to them as a gift. $15 is not going to break any of us here. And say, just as a fairness, if you are wowed by this, let's sit down and get you signed up, and we can direct one of your administrators, one of your staff members, to learn SendOutCards. And I just did that again, now that I'm thinking about it, for another good friend over Homestead Funding, Chuck Herber. Chuck's a magnificent loan officer. He's got his staff sending out SendOutCards right now. Awesome guy. He knows he can't do it as well as me, as efficient as me, but I went over and I sat down with Mia, spend an hour and a half teaching it, and they're loving it. And I have a Christmas party next week. I'm going to be with them. I'll be talking up about them. Of course, Chuck's going to get a calendar. It's pretty cool. I love being on this call. I'm thinking of all the people. I might have to order another 100 calendars.
Well, hey, I love hearing you're going to order another 100 calendars. I got to start using more of them myself too, you know. And I love the way that you think bigger picture. It's not just about the one calendar. It's about the future business that represents with somebody. And I love that. Thank you so much, Jay. You've had a lot of great ideas today. Lori, if you're still with us, Lori, I want to thank you so much for your 12 Days of Christmas idea. A lot of people really love the 12 Days of Christmas and sharing different send out cards, gifts representing each of the 12 Days of Christmas. I can't wait for my Facebook to be filled with people posting stuff like this all the time. That excites me so much. And thank you, Diane Walker, for letting us use your GoToWebinar account today, because I am Ben Fitz. I'm not really Diane Walker, and I don't know if you guys can see that in the attendees. Jay and Lori, do you guys want to say good night before we wrap it up?
Good night, everybody, and happy card sending and gift sending.
Thank you, Lori, for your idea. Thank you, Ben, for having us. And let's get to work and work on getting these gifts out before December 25th, January 1st, and making 2016 your best year ever.
Thank you all so much. Everybody have a great night. Take care.
Night.
Thanks, guys.